Okay, here we go. So this here is just my thoughts on the new Star Wars Rise of Skywalker trailer. And I have watched it a couple times, so it's not like this is just me like taking it. Oh my goodness, look what's happening. I didn't know this was coming. I'm just gonna go through a few of my thoughts here as we go through it. So I'll start it off, and right away, I actually really like the quality of picture that they get. Um, I generally think sort of the colors and the clarity and everything, like it looks good, right? It looks like a pretty slick design. Then we get this here. Ugh, that's freaking stupid. Okay. The way she just sort of nonchalantly flips the lightsaber around and knocks out a freaking a laser, a blaster shot. That's just freaking stupid. Like, look at this. She's running along, and it's just like, oh, I'll just flick my wrist along. Boop, boop, boop. No big deal, right? That's just freaking stupid, right? There's like, right there, just the casualness of the motion makes me think there's no sense of danger, right? She's doing this with her back turned while she's running away, right? Why do I need to be concerned for this character? They clearly have everything completely under control.
It's an instinct.
Okay, so here we're going to see this big, huge jump. So again, I know forced jumps have been used in the past, but I just think, just look at the scene here. It just seems contrived, right? This is kind of like, and I know that George Lucas did sort of base this on old movie serials, but this seems like something very much out of like a, like a 1930s movie serial where they're, in some lost jungle wasteland and they come across this chasm that they need to cross to get to this mysterious idol or lost civilization that they're looking for. This just looks too contrived for my taste. Too contrived. Then again, oh, here we go. Look, everything looks all serious. Scene cut, obviously, so we're going to see a number of these force jumps in here. Here she is. She is looking intense. It is serious business.
Feeling.
Too bad I don't feel like it's.
The Force brought us together.
Then we got Finn. Finn, who should have died in the previous movie, right? He had a great character arc. He was ready to sacrifice himself, so he goes from being basically a stormtrooper to being somebody who's only looking out for himself and trying to sort of get away from everything, to possibly making a huge sacrifice to save the lives of, hundreds of other people. And then it gets all ruined by Rose Tico. That's been obviously probably broken down by a ton of other people before me. So whatever, he goes on in this movie. Great for him. He gets another paycheck, this actor. So this part here, I'm like, I'm not a snob when it comes to CGI. I'm not. I don't know anything about it. Half the time when people are like, oh, look at this terrible CGI, I look at it and I'm like, this is freaking okay. This looks pretty good to me, right? This does not look good to me. This stuff here I think is fine, all the setting and scenes, but I look at the figure here and I see this, it's all rocky, craggy terrain that this person's running across. But when I look at this, look at the angle of that lightsaber on the wrist. It like never changes. The tip of it is not sort of bouncing around. It's just a nice smooth, like up, down, up, down, up, down as they're running across. The same thing if I look at the body. Look at this. It's just like smooth. There's no like up and down, no little stumbles, no nothing. It's just like boop, straight across. Look at this. Everything's all smooth. Like, look how smooth that is. That just freaking doesn't look real at all in relation to this terrain. That is freaking terrible. That just looks fake to me. Right? That looks fake.
We're not alone. Good.
Oh, here's everybody's favorite character. Yay.
People will fight if we lead them.
And now again, I got nothing necessarily against that actress. I mean, she's given a role. She's collecting the paycheck. I'd freaking do it too. If they had me on there as some stupid character, I would have been Jar Jar Binks, okay? So I'm not going to knock any actor or actress for taking a role. But that character is annoying. Annoying as hell. This here, there better not be any people down here, because that'd be a freaking bad day. That'd be pretty freaking loud, I think.
People keep.
And when I see this, I'm going, okay, this may be a ship or something. So this better be a ship. Because I'm kind of like, how are they freaking building this thing out in the middle of the ocean? Like, these are some serious friggin' waves. And if it's ever like this on a regular basis, driving all the frickin' pilings and foundations and stuff under the sea in these kind of conditions, like, I'm sorry, there's got to be a better place on this freaking planet to put whatever defense fortress thing this is. I don't know what it is. My comment may end up being totally stupid. But when I see something like this, I just think, how the hell did that get built there?
Telling me they know me. No one does. But I do.
Now, again, I'm sure other people have talked about this stuff a lot, but I'm hoping that he does a face turn in this movie, because I think that that would be an interesting premise, actually. If we have a character like Kylo Ren, who starts out as ostensibly your Darth Vader character, and then you have this character of what is Daisy Ridley's name? Kylo Ren, Rey. Rey, is it? Yeah, Rey. So if you have Rey, and now she starts off as ostensibly our hero, and then through the course of the three movies, they do a heel face turn, each of them. So he becomes then good, she becomes evil. I think that could be something interesting, because we're seeing an interesting origin take where we see that she has I'll go back and I'll say I think that it was Empire Strikes Back, Luke asks Yoda, and he says, is the dark side more powerful? And Yoda says something to the effect of, no, easier, but not more powerful. And if we watch through the course of these movies, through the Force Awakens and The Last Jedi, things have come incredibly easy to Rey. So I think that it would be a very interesting way to take the character, where it's like, no, Rey's always looking for the easy route. She's not looking to make self-sacrifices. She's not looking to put in a ton of work and try to get good and get a lot of control and get um, a lot of foundational aspects very very solidly, right? Whereas we see already that Kylo Ren here, he's worked with Luke, then he went and he trained under Snoke, and he did a lot of training, so he has very strong base foundational stuff in his use of the Force. So I think that it would be very conceivable that he then would actually become more and more controlled and see working towards the light side as a viable route, where she might be very easily tempted to take the easy way out and to fall into darkness. And that, I think, is a way that they could at least redeem some of the aspects of the first two movies. Now here, again, I look at something like this and I go, who's the architect for this? Who built this? Because it just seems a little weird. It doesn't seem like something you'd necessarily put on the planning stages.
Long have I waited.
And I know everybody's keen. Everybody's keen. We hear Palpatine here. And so many people are all excited. Oh, they're bringing back the Emperor. Ooh, the Emperor's back. How wonderful. I don't want to see the Emperor again. I've seen the Emperor. I saw him in 2 movies already, if for the main series, and then we saw, obviously, the formation of the Emperor through the prequels. But here's the problem with bringing back the Emperor. I think that it tarnishes the saga and the character arc of Darth Vader, which I think was not played out incredibly well through the prequels. But ultimately, the ending is pretty satisfactory. You have a character who was swayed to the dark side by the Emperor, who was ultimately his enforcer and one of the big scourges of the universe for decades, who ultimately finds redemption by turning around and choosing the life of his son over the life of the Emperor. And he sacrifices his own life to throw the Emperor down this bottomless pit. So I think that that is an intriguing and notable character arc. So bringing back the Emperor, it's like, oh, so Darth Vader wasn't successful. Anakin didn't actually, turn around and kill the Emperor. So I think it tarnishes it a bit. You can say, oh, but he did get out from under his thumb, which is true, and that still leaves some strength in that character arc. But I think ultimately it weakens the arc that we saw for Anakin / Darth Vader. Secondly, it's a character we've seen, and we've seen the end of his story. I would like to see actually the return of Snoke, because here's a guy who was built up to be kind of a freaking, this mysterious badass in The Force Awakens. And then he goes down like a freaking punk in the second one. He gets totally taken out by freaking, like, super easy, right? So, I'm sorry, I don't freaking like it. I think that was lame-o. So, I think if you bring Snoke back, now you can say, oh, see, Snoke, he looked like he got freaking punked in that second one. But he actually sort of knew that this was going on, and he has this larger plan in place, and that was either a freaking clone or that was some stupid thing that they can say it was, oh, he played a force mind trick on them or something. Whatever you want to do to bring him back. But now we can actually get into him coming back and saying, you guys thought I was done, but here, I've been manipulating things beyond even what you understood. So now when you thought I was gone and you guys were playing your little game, I've actually been working a bigger picture in the background, and I'd like to see more development of that character. If they're going to introduce him, they should do something with him.
And now,
This is a cool shot. I like this shot. I like the way the Falcon kind of like floats in the air, and it doesn't quite, it's not totally locked in. I just think
you're coming together.
They'll come in. I'm like, okay, great. Here's C-3PO, who I have liked throughout most of the series. And I'm talking about right all the way back from Star Wars, the very first one, A New Hope. Chewbacca I like, and then it's like, I don't freaking care about this guy. I definitely don't care about her. And I think he's lived past his best expiration date, but, I'm freaking pretty ambivalent about him as well. So we get, oh, look, they're jamming all these characters, most of whom I don't really freaking care about, into a cockpit. And am I the only one that thinks that this lightsaber battle here, they're taking these big freaking wild swings, and they're not moving very fast. Like, this looks like neither of them is particularly committed to trying to freaking do in the other. Like, I could be wrong, but look at this thing. Like, it's freaking...
Is your undoing. What are you doing there, 3PO?
Taking one last look, sir. At my friends.
Ugh, I hate that line. At my friends. Oh, isn't this wonderful? Ah, it's been such a lovely journey. This is freaking so stupid. This is like, so when I said I freaking, for the most part, I've liked C-3PO, this is the part that I was referring to where I don't like him. Yeah, I do not like this. This is the same guy that was going to let the freaking Ewoks burn his freaking friends because he couldn't break protocol when they were getting ready to barbecue them. Sorry, he couldn't freaking do it. And now he's like, oh, I'm just taking one last look because I love you all so much. Now, this here, to me, was the coolest part of the whole trailer. Okay? And what I'm talking about here is not them charging down the hall.
Confronting.
Or them hugging. What I'm talking about is this version of the theme. So I don't know freaking what's different about this because I'm not a music expert, but I freaking was digging this. As soon as this music came in, I was just like, I want to freaking listen to that on the freaking YouTube or whatever, because that is an awesome version of this.
Confronting fear. It's the destiny of a Jedi.
And I'm guessing, again, I'm sure I'm not freaking
confronting fear.
But I'm guessing this is where they find out that she is actually the daughter of Leia.
It's the destiny of a Jedi. Your destiny.
This is where it's too bad. Like, this is where it's too bad. I think this actor here does a good job. Like, I think he's pulling his weight, right? I think the writing though has really hindered that character from becoming what he could have been, right? But I think the actor does a good job. I can buy him being like excited.
Your destiny.
So if this is in space, I don't know if it is. In fact, I think it's probably in the atmosphere. But if this is in space, these guys are freaking riding some kind of freaking yak or something on the outside of a spaceship. If that's the case, oh look, here they are working together, right? Destroying something that was maybe the Emperor or an Emperor construct or something. I like the mask. The mask was cool. They should have had him freaking wear the mask the entire series and not taking it off. That face. So here again, right? It looks like it's in the atmosphere because it looks like there's clouds and all sorts of stuff. So I'll freaking, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt that these guys aren't just riding along outside in space. Oh, this looks like it has wheels. So they're probably, on the ground or something. This is in the atmosphere, I'm sure. But when I see scenes like this again, here's what I think. Okay, I look at this and I go, all right, look at all these freaking Star Destroyers here, right? Look at them. Look at how many there are all the way down, okay? And these things are freaking huge, okay? These things are huge. And I go, okay, where are they getting all the freaking materials to build these things? How much metal and mining goes into this process? And subsequently, how freaking much do each of these things cost? Like, no matter how big your empire is, you will have limitations based on the amount of money and resources that you simply have. You look at every empire through history, and they get so large that ultimately it becomes a matter of being almost unable to support their own size, right? And when I see stuff like this, that just freaking jumps to my mind. It takes me out of it, right? If they had like 6 or 7 of these things, I could freaking be like, all right, this is like serious business. Once they have like freaking 30 or 40 of these things, I'm like, you know what? You're taking me out of it. You're taking me out of it. Because, again, this isn't going to be every ship in their fleet, right? So they're just freaking pulling ones that are kind of in vicinity.
The Force will be with you. Always.
There you go. That's my thoughts for whatever they're worth. I think, like I said, I think the cinematography is good. I think generally the clarity, the colors, all that kind of stuff is good. Some of the special effects on some of these things here, like this planet stuff here, it's a little dark. Look at this, not this here. This stuff, it's a little dark, a little hazy for my liking. I'd like it if they freaking brought the brightness up, made it a little easier to see what's going on. But for the most part, I think it's pretty decent on that front. The story stuff freaking sucks though, generally, and I think that this here will probably not be a ton better. I'm not so interested in seeing the Emperor again. I'm hoping that they do something interesting with the characters to redeem them, but I'm not counting on it. So that's my thoughts on the trailer, and I think that's about it.